I always refer to them as the Ratbirds on my channel, but I do that. It's nothing. I do that for every team. But since you're here, I'll call them the Ravens. But the Ravens really had a lot of injuries last year, and that
Mm,
really, especially the second game against the Bengals, that really, I
yeah.
mean, barely half the team were playing. Now, the first game, you guys are pretty solid, and we came in there and had a very solid game and won. Now,
Hmm.
going into this year, I know the Ravens are looking for blood and don't want to, they ain't going to want to get beat by the Bengals, 4 times in a row. So what is the mindset there in Baltimore as far as the Ravens season last year? Or is everybody just kind of like, they're injured, or are they more like we got to make some changes here?
I think a little bit of both. Reason I say that is because one, they were injured, like literally everybody got hurt. And Ravens, they were fighting. They were fighting because they kept losing guy after guy, and this started even before the season.
Right.
But then even while the season was going, like every week it was somebody new, and every week it was somebody significant, and it would be a significant injury to somebody new. So guys were just dropping left and right. But the Ravens, they kept fighting, and they were at one point 8-3. That's when Lamar Jackson was still playing. They
Mm-hmm.
were 8-3 and at the top of the AFC. And I
Right.
was just thinking, wow, how did we get here? Especially like with the way that they had been winning. I just didn't feel like it was something that could last forever. I was hoping that it would, but I was just thinking like, oh man, yeah, they are winning, which is the most important thing, but the quality of the wins, it just wasn't there. So then they lost a couple of games, then Lamar got hurt, and that was it. That
Yeah.
that, that was a wrap. But even when Lamar was playing, and even after he wasn't playing, just a lot of the decision making, the coaching decisions, and really just the philosophy. That's what a lot of us are hoping for. That changes with the Ravens is just their philosophy, because we know the Ravens, they're known. First thing when you talk about Ravens, most people think defense, defense,
Right.
defense, defense, and
Right.
they've been known for defense for forever. That's been their bread and butter. Defense, and then on offense, having a strong run game. But like it's a passing league.
Mm-hmm.
And the Ravens showed last year, like they can throw the football, but we just want them to do that more consistently. We want them to do it better. We want them to do it more because the NFL, the way that the NFL even has the rules set up right now, the rules benefit the offenses so heavily.
Exactly.
And we just want the Ravens to open this offense up, and we want the Ravens to really just take advantage of that. So it will be a mix of hoping that everybody comes back and stays healthy this year, but also that they open a lot of things up on offense.
Now you brought up an interesting point. I was kind of curious about this myself, of the changes of the philosophy, and I know a couple. And me personally, I think a couple of those games, your coach lost you your game for going for it on fourth down.
Mhm.
Now, has that been brought up in the press conferences to him or anything? Is he going to pull back a little bit, or what has he said about that?
He said Harbaugh said that if he could go back, then he would change it. But that's Harbaugh though. Harbaugh's he's always gonna go for those 2 point conversions. And yeah, I most of them I disagree with. I was just not a big, and this was even before the play was executed, whether they converted or not. I just was not a fan of it, especially in those last 6 games when they were going for two against. They did it against the Rams, they did it against the Packers, they did it
Mhm.
against the Steelers, the Browns, and I was just like, what are we doing? Like, let's just play
that
for overtime.
that dropped you out of the playoff race. To be honest, all those times he went for it, in my opinion, that's I mean,
Yeah,
and hey, I was here for it. I'm a Bengals fan, so I was happy he did it. But it helped me out. It helped you guys out too much though.
and I know, like, it's funny because even the owner, Steve Bisciotti, he said even when the team was 8-3, he said it himself, like he felt like they didn't deserve to even be 8-3. He didn't know how they were like that, and he said that he didn't expect them to do anything in the playoffs because they were just too beat up.
Right, right.
So his expectations were low for the team with everybody that had got taken out from injury, but. Yeah, with Harbaugh, I just with Harbaugh, with Roman, with a lot of the play calling, that's another philosophy that we hope just gets better. Like the situational play calling,
Hmm.
that's one thing that we hope improves drastically.
Right. Now, one thing that you guys do have is a Hall of Fame kicker,
Mhm.
and we have one. I think, and I got his jersey on right now. Shooter Evan
McPherson.
McPherson. I think
Mhm.
he's going to be the next goat as far as kicking. So and Justin Tucker. broke a record, hit with a 60, 63,
66.
66-yard field goal.
Mm-hmm.
How did you? Obviously, I'm sure you watched that game.
Yeah.
How did Baltimore react to that? Because I'm when I saw it, I'm like, holy crap! Because it hit the it hit the crossbar, and it could have bounced back, or it could have bounced to the side. It could have bounced off. It bounced right over. That was an
That was
unbelievable
scary.
kick.
It was really scary because in week 1 we had played the Raiders, lost to them in overtime. And then in week 2, it's still the injury decimated team. We were getting ready to play the Chiefs, and I thought we were going to lose that game. I thought the Ravens were going to lose to the Chiefs. The Chiefs have been the Ravens' kryptonite. I was just like, oh no, there's no way we're beating the Chiefs. Then they beat the Chiefs, and I was like, oh wow, it was a pleasant surprise. So then during that Lions game, so we were 1-1, and during that Lions game, it's like, man, I know Hollywood, he had a bad game because he had several touchdown drops. And just the Ravens offense was just not alive in that game. So I was thinking, man, like it felt like it was like a letdown getting ready to happen. And then late in the fourth quarter on that last drive, after the offense had pretty much been dead all game, it's 4th and 19. And I'm like, oh, hopefully we converted, but 4th and 19, right. Highly unlikely. 4th and 19, Lamar finds Sammy Watkins, hits some Sammy Watkins, runs out of bounds. I'm like, wow, we just got a first down on 4th and 19. Wow, stuff like that just never happens.
Right.
So then Justin Tucker was getting ready to line up for the kick. I'm like, oh, 66-yard field goal, really? And he lined up, and I'm thinking like so much emotions are going through my mind. Even on that 4th and 19 play, before the 4th and 19 play, I'm like, man, we're getting ready to be 1-2 and have lost to the Lions. Like, we're getting ready to lose to the Lions. And on top of that, we're getting ready to have the same record as the Lions. And I know it's just 3 games, but still, like, man, that's embarrassing. So after when he kicked it during the broadcast, the angle that they showed it, it made it look like he missed. And I'm like, oh man, wow. I'm glad they went for the kick. Yeah, Justin Tucker, we know he's the best kicker, but they missed it. Wow, we really lost to the Lions. That's crazy. But then I saw the refs, they looked at each other, and then they put their hands up. I was like, oh, we really made it. I couldn't believe it. It was crazy, man. So it was just a roller coaster of emotions in those last couple of minutes. And then, of course, on that field goal, after thinking that we had missed it, I was just shocked that we made it, but I was super happy because I'm like, okay, we don't have the same record as the Lions. We're 2-1. All right, we made it.
Right, exactly. And trust me, I understand the anxiety of kicks because Evan McPherson had multiple ones and playoff winning kicks, and not a 66-yard field goal one, but he had a lot of 50 yards. So that's what I'm saying. I think we got the 2 best kickers in the league. I mean, bar none. I think Tucker and McPherson are the 2 best kickers moving forward. Now, we know that we both have one common enemy, and that is the Pittsburgh Squealers. And yes, I have nicknames for everybody.